Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's CRM Magazine Roundtable web event brought to you by Conga, Looker, and ClearSlide. I'm Bob Fernikes, and I'm the publisher of CRM Magazine, and I'll be the moderator for today's broadcast. Our presentation today is titled, Must-Have Sales and Marketing Tools That Deliver Immediate ROI. Today we'll be talking about everything from achieving higher ROI with intelligent document automation to simplifying outbound prospecting efforts with actionable dashboards to tracking engagement to improve pipeline management and forecast accuracy. But before we start, I just want to explain how you can participate in today's live broadcast. At the end of the event, there'll be a Q&A, so if you have a question during the presentation, just type it into the question box and hit submit. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible, but if we can't get to yours, we'll follow up within a few days. Plus, if you'd like a copy of the presentation, you can download a PDF from the resource icon on the console once the event is archived. Now to introduce our speakers for today, we have Karen Cooper. She's the Product Marketing Director at Conga. We've got Lisa Daniels, Vice President of Marketing and Demand Generation at Looker. And we've got Isabella Bray, Senior Manager, Demand Generation at ClearSlide. Chris, who was supposed to make it today, couldn't make it, so Isabella will be filling in for him. If you want to review the speakers' bios, you can just click on the arrows under their photos and read all about them. So now I'm going to pass the event over to Karen Cooper. Again, she's the Product Marketing Director at Conga. Welcome to the broadcast, Karen.
Thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate the introduction. I'm really excited to be here on today's webinar. So today we're going to talk about ways to really digitally transform with intelligent automation. So let me start briefly by introducing Conga. We are one of the top applications on the Salesforce App Exchange, creating intelligent automation solutions for business processes. With over 10 years of industry expertise, we have 650,000 plus users in 45 countries. Our main three areas of focus are document automation, contract management, and sales and support automation. Now that you know a little bit about who we are, let's talk about how digital automation technologies can help businesses achieve higher return on investments by really being more agile and efficient, streamlining some of those business processes, but ultimately really producing greater opportunities to deeply engage with your customers. I think we can all agree with this next statement that manual sales processes and certain data management tasks really lead to lost productivity and less customer face time. In a recent survey by Implicit of about 10,000 sales executives, it was found that the average sales rep spends more time manipulating and updating their CRM system than Facebook and coffee breaks and all the ways we kind of waste a little bit of time every day. So that's about 4 hours a week. Now, 4 hours a week may not sound like a lot, but let's do a little math here. You take 4 hours per week and you have 10 sales representatives, so 4 times 10 is 40 hours. So that's 1 full week, work week, of lost productivity. So you can think of how that scales up when your teams get larger and larger. So what are some tangible reasons to automate? Well, obviously it saves time. It also produces less administrative work. It really allows you to spend your time on more value-added activities versus some of these administrative tasks. But it also provides for faster customer communication. You know, particularly when you're first starting and you're talking to customers and prospects and they would like information. You know, the faster you can get them that information or that proposal or quote, the better off you'll be setting yourself up for the sales cycle because you don't really want to give those customers time to lose interest or potentially go somewhere else. Obviously, automation reduces errors. Data can be pulled from a central location with automation to prevent manual data entry and copy and pasting type activities. Now, we see a lot of organizations who are maintaining Excel spreadsheets, and also trying to correctly input that information into Salesforce. So these types of system data errors that can happen, we're human, when we're transferring this data, can really impact not only sales, but also multiple touch points throughout the organization, including service, support, marketing, and other functions that really depend on that information being correct and contained in that customer record. The next area is branding. So as a marketer, we're very aware of branding, and we're always looking to make sure that we have a good corporate messaging, the same look and feel. We want customers to see and look at our company the same way, whether it's on the web, collateral that we develop, in social media, etc. But really, we all need to be thinking that every external document that goes out, whether it's an email, whether it's an invoice, a quote, a proposal, a presentation that you send to a customer, all of that really should be considered marketing tools and should still have that same company look and feel to it. And finally, with automation, obviously we can keep track of everything. So there's standard templates and different versions of things that go around, and so automation allows you to just keep track of all of that and have one central location for everything. So here are a couple of ways, tangible ways, that automation can help you achieve a higher return on investment. So the first area we're going to take a look at is really automating account plans, pipeline reports, opportunity records, things like that. So the problem here is really that poor account management or really not being able to have good visibility to your leads and to your opportunities really leads to lower sales. So a recent study by Forrester, 61% of the sales managers polled had trouble gathering insights into their current opportunities. So that's quite a high percentage. So they just aren't using the proper tools to really gain that visibility. So the solution here really is to help them increase that efficiency in their sales process and find tools that can really allow them to make sure they're receiving all the important information. So automation tools can give you the ability to batch edit account data, see all that information in one place, no more clicking and clicking and clicking through individual records to get to what information you're looking for. Imagine being able to prepare for a quarterly business review and creating your presentation and account updates just with a click of a button. And as a sales manager, you can have the ability to batch and request actions out to your team and send them all automatically. So automating these simple sales tasks lead to better account and data management. It really helps increase communication within the team. But it really provides a higher level of visibility to all the real opportunities and the ability to quickly act on that information. So the second major area is quotes and proposals. So sales quotes and proposals are really the document workhorses for winning new business. And with slower customer communication and brand consistencies, the problem here is sometimes it just takes too much time to create these quotes. If we're copying and pasting, doing a lot of manual data entry, we might have multiple templates or formats that go out to customers, and it really leads to a lot of customer confusion. The solution here is really to try to reduce that time to that final sale and really elevate the engagements that we're having with our customers with that consistent corporate messaging and branding. So organizations can save time and better allocate their resources by creating branded templates with dynamic forms and fields that sales and operational people can quickly fill out from the account data that already exists in the CRM system. We've seen organizations cut their quoting time by as much as 2/3. So the final way to achieve a higher return on investment is with contract management. Now, on average, it takes about 3.4 weeks to create and approve and get that contract signed. So a solution is how can we make that occur faster to be able to create it and redline it, get legal to approve things, get it over to the customer, have them approve it, really do that more in an automated fashion so that it takes days and not weeks. When it's time to sign on the dotted line, buyers really look towards that speedy delivery. They want to see error-free contracts and documents, and really that's starting the beginning of a good relationship. Automating contract life cycles from creation, updating, approval, and sign-off can really close businesses faster and reduce legal approval time with the ability to include some pre-approved terms and clauses, some simple editing that can be done online, real-time redlining, and quick approvals by customers and the company itself. So in summary, automation really touches all phases of the sales cycle, helping your team save time and resources to generate more opportunities. From the beginning of the sales process with prospecting new customers, forecasting, sales reports, presentations, really setting things up from a good perspective, to the middle of that process, quickly communicating, engaging with your customers, providing that information that they require in a timely fashion. And then also to the end, really reducing risk, accelerating contract negotiations, closing that deal as fast as possible. And that's all I have today. If you'd like to learn more, here's a couple ways to get in touch with you. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Bob.
Hey, thanks very much, Karen. I just want to remind everybody that if you do have any questions for Karen or any of our other speakers coming up on the event, just type them into the question box and hit submit. I'm going to now introduce again our next speaker, Lisa Daniels. Again, she's Vice President of Marketing and Demand Generation at Looker. Welcome to the broadcast, Lisa.
Thank you, Bob. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa, and I head up the Demand Generation and Marketing Ops team here at Looker. And for those of you who are not familiar with Looker, Looker is a data analytics platform that makes it easy for those who need data and insights to get data and insights. You're welcome to come to our website at looker.com and see all the customers that use us. Today I'm going to talk about how putting data in front of salespeople, sales managers, and entire sales teams can improve sales productivity. By giving the right data to the people who need it, we have seen that productivity increases and administrative annoyances decrease. I'll go ahead and share actual examples and dashboards that we have built and how we use data at Looker with our sales team. I do spend a good bit of time with the sales reps and managers here, so I have seen firsthand how they have become more efficient with the sales processes thanks to data. Primarily, they've reduced friction in their sales workflows. They've simplified the outbound prospecting processes, and we have seen sales managers engage with data and an individual salesperson. So it's really concrete information they're able to talk to their sales reps about. The first example is going to about putting curated data directly into your CRM tool. I know you think that your CRM tool is already full of sales data, therefore it's already in front of the salespeople. But let me show you how to make that sales data really rock and be more effective for your sales team. Here's one of the main dashboards that we use for sales reps. I've highlighted specifically 3 areas for you. The first area highlighted in red are the time savers, and these are filters and the run button. Filters are pretty great because rather than having to go back to the report builder page in Salesforce or to make updates or change timeframes, it's all in the filter itself. So you can go in there and make sure it's your name as a sales rep, the specific time frame you're looking at, or a specific region. A sales manager can, of course, do that really quickly and look at 5, 10 sales reps in a matter of 20 minutes, all from that one click of the updates of the filter button, and then, of course, hitting that run button, and that data is updating real time right there for you. The second section I have for you are these team comparison charts in green. And so that individual sales rep is seeing very quickly how they are comparing against the rest of their team. In this example, of course, the sales rep is 5% to quota, and the rest of the team is 22% to quota. So that should really get the competitive movements going for that person. The consistent calculations here on the lower left shows the open deal health. And that is a very interesting calculation because it's about 20 different data points all compiled together into a single dashboard. And having that one agreed to calculation built into a dashboard ensures that all of the sales reps are using the same math and that they do not have to figure that math out in an Excel spreadsheet every time they want to run that report. The second example I have is a process we started recently, and it shows how we can help a rep do prospecting more quickly and see the outcomes of that prospecting all in one spot. So this dashboard shows me as a sales rep, and I can quickly see the health of the prospecting in my territory. The top portion of the dashboard shows my status to the goal I have for the entire team. So I've hit 22 meetings, and that is putting our entire team at 42% of the team goal. I can also see in the middle portion of this dashboard all of the territories, all of the leads in my territory, and all of the company names in my territory. Additionally, at the very bottom, I can see all of the new leads and new companies. New reps to a territory particularly like this dashboard because in one view they can very quickly see the health of their territory and what they need to do to start invigorating and building pipeline. But this is just part of the picture. This same dashboard continues and has lists of the actual lead names that sales rep can reach out to. The first table here shows all of the emails that have bounced in my territory. So these are people I have actually reached out to, and for some reason maybe they're no longer at the company, or I guessed maybe a wrong email address. What that really tells me is that I need to go back and do some more research into those accounts I'm trying to get into so that I can then find the right person to talk to. One of the really cool productivity links here on the right side of the dashboard is we have links to the actual LinkedIn profiles for each of these people so that you can quickly go from this dashboard into LinkedIn and learn more about the folks, and you can reach out to them through your LinkedIn profile. Additionally, there's a column right here called Click for sample copy, and it's the sales team and marketing teams working together, and we have created copy for the salespeople so that they can go ahead and copy-paste email blocks into their email so they don't have to make it up every time. The bottom of the screen here is the leads in my territory that my partner SDR is working on, so the sales development rep person I am working with. These are the leads that they are reaching out to. And they, of course, also have the links to LinkedIn profiles and links to example copy. This is really important because it's a team working a territory. I know that my SDR is actively trying to get me meetings with these people, and I'm not going to reach out to them and cause confusion for that person. My third topic and last topic will give you some ideas of how sales managers can leverage data for better coaching of their sales reps. This dashboard, like the first dashboard I showed you, is for a single sales rep, and it shows their performance to date. Again, we have those time savers from the filters. So just like that first dashboard, here is a sample sales rep. I, as a sales manager, even a marketing person, can go in there and look at almost any sales rep, and I can quickly ascertain performance and maybe issues. I could look at maybe an entire team, if it's in the entire enterprise segment, or maybe a strategic account team, and I can very much and very quickly look at different time frames. How are they doing this quarter? How are they doing this year? How are they doing this month? In this example, this sales rep is very happy. It could be the end of the quarter or the beginning of the quarter, but they are 99% to goal. So yay for them. And then we have very similar calculations. So we have the open deal health calculations. So again, multiple data points being brought together to say, you know, maybe the trial has stalled and the person isn't responding to you. All of those points of interest are combined here in one point. And many of these are red, so they're not healthy. Again, it's consistent calculations that an entire team is using the same thing, so that management can very confidently look at the data and say, we have an issue here or we don't have an issue, and we know it's all the same. And then, of course, that salesperson does not have to remember those calculations in an Excel spreadsheet or someplace else. We, of course, also have the team comparisons. So as we saw earlier, this sales rep is doing really well, so here's their bar. And then we have the comparison of all their other teammates. The sales manager in this case would want to find out what is working so well for this rep so that they can pass those ideas along and learnings to other sales reps. That same dashboard then continues to go extremely deep on team comparisons of that single rep to multiple teams. Upper portion, you can see this one sales rep compared against the entire enterprise team compared against the entire sales team. So you can really see if there's patterns developing. We have, you know, dollar values. We have compositions of conversion rates. We also have pipeline. So you can see in this case, this person was 99% to their goal. They have a really strong pipeline, so they're probably going to continue having some really good quarters here. We also have these conversion rates because conversion rates often are very telling into learning opportunities for individuals. In this case, the person has a fine meeting to opportunity conversion rate, so they're performing in a similar manner that everybody else is performing. So that's great to know. There's consistency. There's probably no problems. But you can see the opportunity to win rate for this individual is actually really low compared to the rest of the team. So this person in particular probably needs training on closing deals. And again, a sales manager can see that very quickly. There might be trends they see across an entire team or an entire group of people, and they can work to get training set up for their teams across the board. Okay, so my final comment, I work at a data company. I am a big fan of data. Being in demand generation, data is my lifeline. I really, truly believe data can be a key to success for any marketing person and any salesperson and any sales team. But how do you get started? The best thing is simply be an advocate for data. Work for the team cleanliness of data. Start as simple as possible. Don't feel like you need to boil the ocean. Injecting data into your Salesforce system may not be the quickest thing, but putting a performance dashboard together for an entire team might be the best place to start. And then do what you can to get the data into the workflow, aka not giving anybody excuses as to why maybe they don't know the health of their deals because they didn't want to log into another system. Come and learn more about Looker.com. We have our blogs about using data that can help improve your work in your business. Reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. Thank you, and back to you, Bob.
Hey, thanks very much, Lisa. Now we've got Isabella Bray. Again, she's the Senior Manager, Demand Generation at ClearSlide. Welcome to the broadcast, Isabella.
Thanks, Bob. It's been really interesting listening to the other presenters talk about their value propositions. Couldn't agree more about automation and really on the Conga end and really bringing data to the forefront, as Lisa talked about with Looker. Going to echo those points, but also bring in the caveat, which is ClearSlide's value proposition of sales engagement data. So the topic that we're going to be talking about today is solving the CRM adoption challenge with a sales engagement platform. We're going to dive into a little bit of data to showcase that CRM adoption is a huge issue across all industries and their sales organizations, and how we can really solve for that. So let's spend a couple of minutes talking about just how challenging CRM adoption actually is. Salesforce reported as early as this year that according to their systems, they really put CRM adoption rates across industries at about 26%, extremely low. Conversely, a study from CSO Insights done about a year ago actually points to CRM adoption rates across industries being much higher at about 74%. The data is scattered all around with CRM adoption rates, but even if we're to take the average of these really high and low points of CRM adoption, the safest bet is that CRM adoption across industries is about 50%. Still way too low, especially when we're talking about data hygiene and having these systems of record in place as a foundation to build processes upon. So a major challenge across industries. So what are the negative effects of low CRM adoption? Salesforce reports that about $700 billion of sales are lost each year due to bad data. Similarly, Salesforce also reports that 88% of companies are losing about 12% of their revenue. Not good. In the same thread, IBM also reports that 30% of sales leads fail because of poor CRM data inputs. So really a lot of work to be made up because of low CRM adoption. But what are the possibilities when CRM adoption is high? Really, the sky is the limit. So IBM reports that companies with high CRM adoption see up to 300% higher conversion rates. That's huge. IBM also reports that companies with high CRM adoption have about 40% increase in their average purchase or contract value of deals that they sign on. And Salesforce reports that companies can see about a 30% increase in overall sales just by adopting their CRM and having really clean data inputs into their CRM. So clearly, I think the point has been made that CRM adoption problems need to be solved for. But how are we going to do that? I want to take one step back and really take a look at the evolution of sales and marketing automation systems and how they've come to complement each other. So we know that CRMs began, almost 30 years ago, if not more than 30 years ago, and marketing automation has really just come into the picture in the new millennium, honestly. A system of engagement, which we're going to talk about more in depth, has really just come to the forefront in the last handful of years. ClearSlide in specific has been named the leading sales engagement platform 2 years in a row by our independent research firm Aragon. And so we've really been pioneering the alignment of sales automation and marketing automation into a system of engagement that we're going to talk about. So just what exactly is a sales engagement platform? As Aragon Research defines it and speaks on it, while sales enablement is the current buzzword in the sales space, the Sales Engagement Platform, SEP for short, is a new digital selling platform that integrates with CRM and is the key to empowering sales professionals in the digital era. Again, this is coming from independent research firm Aragon. So let's break this down, right? We're talking a lot about systems of engagement, systems of record. What do we really mean? And how can that tackle low CRM adoption? So this graphic comes from our friends at 451 Research, who do a lot of research into sales process efficiency. And when we talk about a system of record, which is what a CRM is really, it's nothing more than a place to store records that pertain to your business. They improve process efficiency to help you mature your processes, and it really is just that place to store your internal transactional data. When combined with a system of engagement like ClearSlide, you really see a disruption going on because this is a system that is customer-facing, unlike your system of record or your CRM, and it really helps to boost the interactive and personalized experiences that sellers can have with their prospects and customers. Now, getting a little bit more into the weeds of what ClearSlide does, ClearSlide as a system of engagement makes cross-channel customer engagement actionable for marketers and for sellers. So traditionally, we have the seller and we have a buyer, and everything that really happens in between is, for the most part, across industries and across companies, unknown. You know, a lot of reps work on gut feel, so when their sales leaders ask them, you know, how did that pitch go? How did that meeting go? How did that call go? Really, they don't have oftentimes more to say than, oh, it went well, it went great. How do you actually know that? How do you know that what you're pitching and the content that marketing has developed for that pitch is actually landing the way that you want it to land with your prospect and your customer? And even if you do get feedback from your prospect or customer, how do you know that that's actually lining up with the actions that they are transmitting with your content or with your dialogue? At ClearSlide, we work to make that transparent so that sellers know exactly how buyers are interacting with their content so that they can craft follow-ups. Specifically, sales leaders, marketing leaders, sales enablement see the value here. But when we talk about sales ops value proposition, that ties right back into the data inputs into your CRM and how that helps to make everything more efficient. So when we talk about ClearSlide for Salesforce value, and a point should be made that ClearSlide actually does integrate with any CRM, but with Salesforce being the leader in the CRM space, we're going to talk about Salesforce for now. So this data that we're talking about has actually been validated by Tech Validate. So this is not just ClearSlide speaking about ourselves. We actually had a third party come in and review this data to actually validate its accuracy. So when customers of ClearSlide have the integration into their CRM, like Salesforce, we have seen a 60% increase in the adoption of Salesforce. We've seen a 55% improvement in the quality of the data tracked in Salesforce, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute. And overall, about 20 hours per week per rep have been saved across our customer base. So these are very, very compelling numbers, and they're real. They're based on real data. So exactly how does ClearSlide work to improve process efficiency and CRM adoption? Well, we have an online meeting feature in our tool, which recaps everything that is auto-logged directly back into the CRM. So when you use ClearSlide with your CRM system, this provides real-time, detailed insight on buyer engagement and sales productivity throughout the sales cycle. ClearSlide integrates with any CRM, as I've mentioned, and it automatically captures and logs activity from your meeting with engagement data across all communications and channels. For sales reps activities like emails, online and in-person meetings, the content that was used, and any resulting customer engagement, they're all auto-logged back to the appropriate records within Salesforce. Data quality in CRM improves significantly, as we've touched on, and rep adoption improves as well, because reps don't have to then go back and manually input all of the information from every interaction they've had. Meeting recaps links to viewer engagement. This is super compelling. So what does engagement data really mean? With ClearSlide, you'll get one-click access to meeting recaps and recordings so that sales leaders can actually listen to each meeting down to the individual slide level to understand how that pitch and that content is landing with the buyer. You'll be able to see exactly which of your participants on an online meeting were paying attention to each slide, which of course helps with crafting follow-ups. And something that is really a game changer for sales enablement tools and sales and marketing alignment, particularly as it pertains to forecast accuracy, is our engagement quadrant. When plugged into the Salesforce connector, ClearSlide provides dashboards directly within Salesforce to easily map deal size against ClearSlide engagement to manage pipeline, focus resources on deals at risk, and improve forecasting. You'll be able to visualize opportunity engagement across sales stages and drill into activity and engagement details to coach on deals that really matter. So when you look at this quadrant, you'll see that we have deal size compared to actual engagement time in minutes. So let's say you have a rep that has, a major deal, right? A $50,000, $100,000 deal in the pipeline, and you're thinking, that's fantastic, but what is the engagement been on that, right? So you think this deal is going to close, but exactly how many meetings have you had? What has been the interaction, and how has that buyer responded to the seller? That's all plotted here. So you might have a very large deal with very low engagement, and so the forecast is that deal may not go through. You really need to engage more with that prospect. So we see a lot of amazing feedback on our engagement quadrant. So just a couple of examples of real customers of ClearSlide and the value they've gotten out of our product. LinkedIn has improved the quality and quantity of data being tracked within their Salesforce database by up to 50% with ClearSlide. And that's coming directly from Amy Smith, the Enterprise Relationship Manager at LinkedIn. Again, all this data researched and validated by Tech Validate. The Sacramento Kings, a longtime customer of ours. We have an amazing relationship with them. Trevor, the senior account manager for the Sacramento Kings, he's telling us that they've increased their team's adoption and use of Salesforce, again, by up to 50% with ClearSlide. And finally, the Wall Street Journal, Brian Fisher, a sales specialist at the Wall Street Journal, tells us that ClearSlide for Salesforce has helped the Wall Street Journal replicate top rep best practices across their entire team. So I invite you to learn more about ClearSlide. We have a free trial and are here to give you a demo at any point. We're also a top-rated app on the App Exchange inside Salesforce. So if you want to learn more about that, feel free to Google App Exchange for ClearSlide. You'll get a lot more details there. Back to you, Bob.
Hey, thanks a lot, Isabella. I just want to remind everybody that if you've got any questions for Isabella or Lisa or Karen, just type them into the question box. We'll be heading into the Q&A portion right now. So let's see some questions. Actually, I'm going to circle back to you, Karen. Can you give me an example of how Conga can help improve sales forecasting accuracy?
Yeah, sure. Some of our customers come to us. They typically use the Salesforce forecasting tab to look at all their opportunities, but they find it kind of awkward and time-consuming because they have to click through each individual opportunity and then back out again. And they can see individual rep deals and performance, but they're really missing the broader perspective on the team's pipeline. So they were really looking for a better way to be able to analyze that and be able to report out on that. So our Action Grid product is really the product that helped them, and it layers on top of Salesforce, and they can take all their opportunity records and really filter and tailor and segment that data by any parameter they like, whether it's territory size, deal size, close date, really being able to see what opportunities should be at the top of the pipeline. So for example, they would use Action Grid to filter out some larger deals, maybe look at a close date in the next 90 days above a certain dollar value, and then they would have their reps focus in specifically on those particular accounts. The result here was they achieved about a 10% increase in that pipeline and forecasting in their first year of using the product.
Great. All right. Actually, I'm going to go back to you, Lisa. Can you give us some ideas about the dashboard? So they only show the sales data, or can you kind of fill us in on that?
The dashboards can definitely hold pretty much any kind of data that you have in your systems, your technology systems. The key is just making sure you get them all into one database, because then Looker can sit on top of that database, and then your data can really tell a complete data story. I would love to share with you some of the marketing dashboards I use, which is very much, email, click information, form fill-outs, all the way down to win opportunity all in one dashboard. So as long as you have all of that data combined together, you can then embed it or just embed it in your CRM system, no matter what CRM system it is, or just look at it within Looker in a dashboard.
Okay, great. Isabella, you had mentioned that you integrate with a couple of different, or I think you said all of them, but the question is, do you integrate with other systems like Microsoft Dynamics? I think you covered this, but can you just clarify?
Yeah, absolutely. We do integrate with Dynamics as well as the Oracle CRM in addition to ClearSlide, and with our custom APIs, we're able to really integrate into any CRM system.
Okay, great. Karen, you started off and you were talking about saving 4 hours per week per rep. How much time can someone save by automating purchase orders?
Yeah, great. That's a really specific use case, and certainly everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different depending on the business processes that we have. But example I can give you is we have an independent manufacturer, some office furniture, and they were really generating a significant number of purchase orders every month. Prior to using our Conga Composer product, the salespeople would gather the information, put it into a spreadsheet, send it over to their purchasing administrator, and they'd create another spreadsheet with all the information and just kind of the different steps and approval processes and things. It really took about 3 days to generate this final purchase order. And with using our Conga Composer product, being able to automate that, building a master template, being able to automate that process, having access to that data within the opportunity record, they were able to cut down that 3 days to less than 8 minutes. So the salesperson could go in, change whatever immediate data about the customer they needed, click a button, and the purchase order would be generated and sent off to the customer. So it really will vary depending on your application, but it just kind of gives you an example of how fast we can do things depending on how you want to use it.
Right. That sounds like quite a time saver. Isabel, I'm going to circle back to you. Can you clarify how your application works within the Salesforce user interface?
Absolutely. So, like I mentioned, we integrate extremely seamlessly with Salesforce. When you use ClearSlide for Salesforce, you actually get that engagement quadrant into your opportunities tab within Salesforce. When you have a lead or a contact come in, you actually have all that activity data and engagement data built in to your Salesforce view panel, which makes it really easy, as well as just having all of the components. So, when you send that email, all that auto-logging capability is logged directly back into Salesforce, so data hygiene is kept at top-notch. There's so much more that I could get into, but I think the best thing would be to Google ClearSlide App Exchange, and you'll get to read all about it.
Okay, great. Lisa, the question is, isn't all of the data already in the CRM system? Can you speak to that?
Sure. Of course, all of your sales data is in your CRM system, but the idea of maybe having a customer health score, you probably need data from your help desk ticketing system, or customer success team might have a system where they're looking at maybe some issues, integration issues, or your professional services team. Often those are not in your sales system. So if you're able to pull all of that data together in a database and then put Looker on top of it, you can then inject it back into your sales system as a very complete data picture and data story. That's how you would be able to have one of those complex health score calculations, pulling together multiple data points.
Great. Well, it seems that those are all the questions that we have to now, so we're going to end up a little bit early today. I want to thank everyone that joined us and also our speakers. And I know some people submitted some questions about do the solutions that we're talking about right now work with different systems? We can follow up by email for those questions. But again, I want to thank our speakers for today. And we've got Karen Cooper. She's the Product Marketing Director at Conga. We've got Lisa Daniels, Vice President of Marketing and Demand Generation at Looker, and Isabella Bray, Senior Manager, Demand Generation at ClearSlide. If you'd like a copy of the presentation, you can download it once the event is archived, and if you'd like to review it, you can send it to a colleague once it's archived. You can use the same web address as you used today, or we'll send you a follow-up email tomorrow with the URL in it, and you can pass that on to a colleague. It'll be archived for 90 days. Also, just for coming to the event today, you could win this 7-inch Fire tablet. The winner will be posted on December 15th on Destination CRM, so just visit our website and see if you're the winner. And that concludes our broadcast for today. Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes today's conference. We appreciate your participation. You may now disconnect. Speakers, please stand by.